1.3 million Americans over the age of 65 have Alzheimer's, and that number is projected to increase 40% over the next 10 years. Hard to believe, 7.1 million people is projected. And joining me now to help put an end to Alzheimer's is Dan Gaspey, the husband of model, author, and former television host B. Smith, who suffers from Alzheimer's, and Dr. Ali Atri. He's the senior scientist at the Ray Dolby Brain Health Center in California. Thank you both for joining us today here on CT Style.
Thank you very much for having us, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate being here.
Absolutely. Now, Dan, sort of put things in perspective. I have 7 people in my family that have been through Alzheimer's. You, of course, on a personal level, what has it been like for you every single day to know somebody who is struggling so close to you?
Ryan, you know, you as a husband, it's one thing. It's one of the most difficult things to go from that to being a 24/7, 365 caregiver. That's the thing that you're not prepared for when you say I do. And so you have to learn a whole new language of patience. You have to learn a whole new way of dealing with situations, watching transitions day to day that you just never expected would happen, because it's particularly when the person is healthy and looks the same, but you understand that there are significant changes in that person's behavior and life and the ability to understand and communicate. And that's the toughest thing, to learn to be patient.
And Dr. Atri, this is one disease where there is sort of very little known about it, so it's one of those things where there's not a cure, but what are you doing from a medical standpoint to help put an end to Alzheimer's?
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. It's Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia. It is a disease. It's not normal aging. And even though we've known about this disease for over 100 years, we're only in the last couple of decades, and particularly probably the last decade, really trying to understand more how many different things form this syndrome of people, you know, losing their abilities to make new memories, to become more disorganized, to have difficulty communicating, coping, multitasking, withdrawing from social life, becoming more anxious. These are all significant changes, as Dan was saying. It's a change that's important. And so even though we don't have cures, we actually have medications that can slow down the pace of the clinical decline. So we have 2 different kinds of medications. Now we combine them together over time. Recently there's a new pill, it's once a day, called Nemzaric, that we use, again, to slow down the overall decline and help manage the symptoms. But this has to be done in the context of taking care of the caregivers, education, and people need to go see their clinician, so there's no delay in getting that care and that diagnosis, because every symptom can be due to different conditions. Every medication can have side effects. So it's important that we recognize this and to support the patients and the caregivers, because that does make a meaningful difference in their lives.
One of the things,
you know, Ryan, I just want to say something. You know, you just mentioned something that's very important. You were able to, on the air, just talk about the number of people in your family that are being impacted. So you know what caregiving is, and you, like the doctor and myself and so many others that we've talked to over the last couple of days, we're all in a club we didn't want to be in. But we know that we've got to try to make a difference, and that's why it's so important that Doctor and I are here today to talk about this Take One Moment campaign through the Caregiving Action Network. We want to recognize those people who are caregivers, and we want people out there to, you know, to take a photo or a memento and post it using social media to let people know that they matter. And then by doing that, the Caregiving Action Network is going to donate through each one of those Take One Moment hashtags a meal. So we're going to give up to 1,000 meals across the country to build awareness, to set the stage for more people to become involved and know that they're not alone.
That is excellent work that both of you are doing. Thank you both again for all of the work that you're doing. Again, the name of the campaign, it is hashtag Take One Moment. And of course, please take one moment to remember the person in your life that has been affected by Alzheimer's. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us here today on CT Style.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Well.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.